Hi Aquarius, I hope that everybody's doing well. Before we get into it, let's set the intention for this to be a space where everyone allows themselves to feel seen and validated, and ultimately for this to be a safe space and a healing space in alignment with everyone's highest good. Alright, let's see what's going on for Aquarius. It seems like you're working on something here. I'm looking at the Eight of Pentacles, the Page of Pentacles, and the Six of Pentacles. Pentacles speak about, I'm getting a sensation on the top of my head. You may be going through, I'm hearing something about a crown activation. Pentacles speak on things that are going on in the 3D for you. So like physical results, your physical environment, things of that nature. For some of you, there could be somebody that you're working with, or somebody could be, you could be helping someone, someone could be helping you. You could be in like some type of mutually beneficial relationship with someone when it comes to things that you're working out. Relationship. For some of you, there's a sense of balance that you're trying to find within your relationships when it comes to figuring out what feels like equality to you, what feels like an equal give and take when it comes to energy. There could also be a discussion of finances, like if you have some type of partnership, business partnership, or you're living with someone, you could be working out things when it comes to finances, like how much you want to be spending, maybe working on a budget, something like that. Even you could even be doing this just for yourself. Someone too could be helping you working on this too. I'm looking at spirit popping out here. What for? For some of you, there could be something that you're doing and you may be working on finding a right asking price. Like if you're doing something when it comes to commissions, like selling artwork or even things that you're creating, music. I'm getting something about even like soaps, candles, things like that. Creative things. Because I'm seeing something totally fueled by your ideas. And this is something too that you feel is in alignment with your path, something you've been guided to be working on. And things that touch the senses with the Venus energy here. And there's a sense of trying to be like, is this going to be worth it to me? How much money am I trying to make? What should my asking price be? Things like that. What feels good to me when it comes to asking prices? And maybe you're recognizing too, like what you want to hold on to, what you want to let go of when it comes to resources. I'm also hearing qualities. And maybe too, you could be going through a phase as well where there are some people or partnerships that you may be letting go of and doing something solo, because I'm seeing there be a sense of empowerment in this. It's like maybe you want to do something autonomously that you feel like you can't do if you have a relationship or a partnership. And so this is about too knowing that you can work on something individually if that's what you choose to do. finding the strength within yourself. Yeah, I'm seeing you be so much more bold when it comes to the work that you're carrying out, and also how it is that you're communicating too. For a lot of you, I am seeing this be related to finances and stuff. It's like wanting to make sure that you're being compensated for what you're doing and being more vocal about that because you believe in your product and what it is that you've been working on. I'm also hearing something about original ideas. There may be a growth period as well, especially with the emphasis on the Empress here, because the Empress is like nurturing an idea that you have and growing it to term, like a project or something you want to be working on, and then giving birth to it, especially with the King of Swords below. So it's like, then how are you going to send that out? How are you going to communicate about that? Are you doing advertising? There's a sense too of you could have even expected immediately for things to fall into place financially, and there may be something that's taking more time than you thought initially. I'm seeing something that's going to be worked out, but it's definitely requiring maybe more patience than you had initially thought. Yeah. For some of you too, there's definitely an emphasis on working on what you're working on and kind of letting your relationships be put on the back burner, in a way, because you want to like emphasize or focus on what you're doing, what you're working on. I'm hearing project management. It seems too like things are being edited or tweaked when it comes to how you're vocalizing things as well, and taking your time to do that properly. Wanting to do it from a grounded place, to wanting to make sure that emotionally you're level when it comes to how you're expressing yourself, and being patient as you're moving through this process. It feels like patience is very much key. I just saw 808 when I looked up at the time. I'm also looking at an 8 on the top of the spread. Major arcanas, I'm looking at Gemini, Taurus. I'm hearing Virgo very strongly. I'm also looking at Venus, Sagittarius, and Saturn. It feels like that notion of that hard work is definitely going to be paying off for you, but there's a sense of like needing to be consistent with what it is that you're working on in order to see the payout. Yeah, definitely something that you're creating. I'm looking at the Magician popping out. Definitely something that you have a natural affinity for. I'm looking at the Ace of Cups. This feels like it's coming from such a grounded, pure place as well. What it is that you're working on, doing, creating. The ideas and the energy that you're giving. And I'm seeing that like this grounded nature is also really helping you when it comes to important decisions that you're executing as well. This feels too like figuring out the right steps for you and being very conscious when it comes to the choices that you're making and continuously striving towards what it is that you want. It's like as soon as you feel like you're getting off track, there's a sense of putting yourself back on track. Because I'm seeing you have a very clear vision here of what it is that you're doing. So it makes sense. It's like as soon as you feel yourself maybe getting pulled sideways is what I'm hearing. There's a sense of like knowing that, recognizing that, and putting yourself back on track here. So also a type of finesse that's being exercised in order for you to get where you're trying to go. I'm seeing something that's going to be pulling through for you. For those of you that this is about money, I am seeing that come through for you. This is going below the Magician in this spread. Creating things when it comes to finances by using innate gifts and abilities. Yeah, for work. How you're making money. I'm seeing this be so on track and so in alignment with what it is that you came here to share. And I mean, there may be multiple things. This may just be one thing that you're working on right now. But yeah, I'm seeing for sure you also have guidance when it comes to business decisions that you are making. Because there also looks like there's some type of expansion. For some of you, there's a sense of getting more into what it is that you're looking for. Because you may feel like you come to a place where you either want to continue growing what you're growing, or you may want to take it even down another route, and there's a decision being made in regard to that. I'm hearing something about down the line. Maybe you haven't gotten to this. Yeah, you may not have gotten to this place yet, but this may be something upcoming for you. When you get to the point where you feel like you're at a crossroads and you may be feeling a bit unsure about where you want to go, you're going to get the message that you need. It's going to come through for you, and it's going to help you execute a choice, and it's going to carry you further towards where it is that you're trying to go, where you want to go. I'm seeing too a very hopeful energy, especially when you hit bumps in the road where it's like, oh, maybe that didn't turn out exactly how I wanted it to. There's a sense of being able to overcome this by the faith that you have. And that's also what makes it easier to make better decisions for yourself too. Yeah, I'm seeing something. There could have been something, maybe these are multiple occasions where things didn't pan out exactly as you wanted them to, but it's like rather than sitting with that and like sinking within that, there's a sense of still maintaining that optimism and faith that you have, and it's like, okay, I need to go back and I need to think about this, and through that reflection it's giving you the direction that you need. There's also a high level of analytical skills as well that I'm seeing when it comes to the ways that you're making decisions. And also depending on yourself and reflecting and finding what it is that you're looking for when it comes to being led in the right direction. You may also notice that you have some helpers that you're finding along the way. Like people outside of yourself or forces outside of yourself. This can be synchronicities. This can be news that you get. This can be passers-by. It's just all of this information coming from these different places, and it's helping strengthen what it is that you're doing when it comes to your decision making too. And you mix that also in with the reflection that you're doing. Because I'm seeing like very methodical moves that are being made, and I'm seeing that wholly benefit you and what it is that you're creating, what it is that you're building towards. There's also a sense of confidence with what you're creating with the Magician and the Ten of Pentacles and the Star. In this spread, I'm looking at Mercury, Pluto, Aquarius, and Virgo. In the next spread, I'm looking at the Seven of Swords, trying to figure out why that's here. Let's see. What I'm getting is that for some reason, there may have been something that happened that kind of threw you off track a little bit. And there's a sense of catching yourself maybe thinking about this and being like, well, maybe what I wanted didn't turn out exactly as I had hoped for it to. But I'm seeing that because you're like really keeping the faith that things are going to fall into place. As soon as you get into that energy of reassuring yourself that things are working out like in your best interests, you're going to secure a wish fulfillment that you have. There's just a sense of like not being discouraged by something not panning out initially as you had hoped for it to, and being able to overcome this. Because I'm seeing it go one of two ways. It's like you can either go through something and have it not turn out in the way that you wanted, and then there's a sense of like kind of throwing everything down the drain, or there's a sense of being like, okay, well, maybe that didn't work out for a reason, and I'm going to like hold the faith and continue working on this. And that's when this thing comes through for you, what it is that you've been working on. And I'm seeing a big sense of fulfillment and accomplishment that comes with that, with you holding on to this dream. Yeah, it's just about being confident and not allowing circumstances to knock your confidence when it comes to what you're working on and what you're creating and reaching your goals. Make sure, too, that if you catch yourself in a spot where you feel really caught up with other people, or if you catch yourself comparing yourself, make sure that you're aware of that, too, if that's happening. Because there's definitely strength that you're going to find within your support system, whatever that is, whether that's like you with your guides or you with family or friends around you that you feel are supportive of you and what it is that you're working on. There's a sense too of finding community, even some sort of creative community. Because I'm also seeing something going on where you may have other people watching you as well with what it is that you're creating and working on. And the more genuinely you're expressing yourself and your creativity in your own unique way, the more fulfilled you're going to be, and the more that's also going to be observed. And I'm seeing like other people be inspired by that too. Yeah, maybe something even happened when it comes to, like, you could have been doing something that's, like, original and maybe different from other people, and maybe something happened where you felt, like, knocked down or maybe even criticized for something that you were doing. And there's a sense of, like, continuing to carry on regardless and not allowing that to knock your confidence. So it's really about sticking with what you're doing. And not allowing that to affect you on a subconscious level by dealing with it immediately, yeah. There's also a sense, too, in recognizing, like, your sensitivities as well. Because you may be in a spot sometimes where creatively you may feel blocked or even torn down because of maybe the impact of other people, and there's a sense of acknowledging what you're feeling and still moving through with that clear energy and that vision that you're maintaining. Because I'm seeing like the more that you're within your feelings and connected with that, the more it's leading you towards what it is that you're working on. Because sometimes too, when things happen, we may have a tendency to kind of like block or shut down our feelings because we don't want to feel sensitive towards certain things, or we don't want to be impacted by it. But this is about like taking everything all together. I'm looking at the sun and the moon next to each other, that yin and that yang energy. And it's about feeling everything and still carrying on with what it is that you're working on, and not being disrupted by other energies that are there to kind of throw you off your path. It's about taking it all into consideration and still remaining true to yourself and your path and the confidence of what it is that you're working on, and knowing too that you don't need anybody else's validation if you're solid on where you stand. Because there's a sense then of finding strength in you being in touch rather than seeing that as a weakness. And when you're in touch, you have a clear picture too of what it is that you want. All right, my friends, we are going to leave the reading here. I'm looking at, again, the sun and the moon. So this is Leo and Pisces energy over here in the last spread. Trust your feelings, trust your intuition. Keep creating, keep working on what it is that you've been working on. And two, maybe something that will be helpful as well is to empathize with people. It's like when someone comes through in a discouraging way, to empathize with that energy rather than pushing it away. It's like sitting there and witnessing that. That doesn't mean that you need to let it knock you off course, but there's a sense of like not being afraid of people disagreeing with you or coming for you in some type of way. So it's like still like holding on to your strength and focusing on that and carrying on. All right, my friends, I would like to thank everybody for tuning in. Thank you for joining. I'm wishing everybody love and light and healing, and I hope to catch you guys next time.